Alright, for question 1 to question 15, please use the self-correction worksheet to guide your corrections. So in this video, we're going to focus from question 16 onwards. Okay, now we have the first one, orders of operations. Remember, your brackets comes first, so I'm going to highlight this. And the one that I would like to do first would be the one in a bracket. So I highlight that to tell myself I'm going to carry down every numbers divided by 2 times 30 minus 25 gives you a 5. Alright. Now the next order that I would like to do is either divide or times. I will have to do divide first because from left to right. So 8 plus 20 divided by 2 gives me 10 times 5. And after that, you have a plus, you have a multiplication. You will want to do the multiplication first. So 8 plus 50, and you are left with the last one. It gives you a total answer, 58. So some of the tip over here, you notice, what did I do? I underline the ones that I want to do first. Underlining will help me to see which operation I will need to do first, so that you don't get confused in exam stress. Let's go on to question 17. Okay. Question 17. In 17, you would like to find out all the common factors, not multiples, but factors of 21 as well as 39. So I'm going to list out all the factors. You have got 1, you have got 2 not possible, 3, 4 not possible, 5, 6 not possible, 7, okay, 8 not possible, 9 not possible, 10 not possible, 11 not possible. I think it goes all the way straight to 21. Whereas for 39, let's look at 39, we have got factors 1, we have got factors 3 as well. We have no 4, no 5, no 6, no 7, no 8, no 9, no 10, no 11, no 12. But there's a 13, and then it goes all the way to 39. So the two common factors can only be 1 as well as 3. So the common factors will be 1 and 3. Okay, now they only want you to list. There are some of you who actually went ahead and you took the common factors to find the sum. So read the question carefully. They only wanted you to list it out. Okay. Now, question 18, you're supposed to find a value. So we have got 3 and 4. We will need to make them a common denominator. And I find that 12 is a very good number to multiply by. So this multiplies by 4. This gives you 4. Multiply by 3. This gives you 9. Now, 2 wholes means I will also need to have 12 as a common denominator. But I cannot have 12 out of 12 because 12 out of 12 will only give me 1 whole. So instead, I need double of it, 24. 24 out of 12 will be 2 wholes. So it's the same as 24 minus 4 minus 9 out of 12. And with simple subtractions, you will be getting 11, 12 as the answer. Alright, question 19. You're supposed to find the value. Now, we have not learned how to divide by 2 decimal places. Obviously, you can't do that as well. So you will need to split them up into 2 and 10. Alright, so depending on what you would like to do, you can always do divide by 10 first, divide by 2 first. For me, I would prefer to do by 10 first, okay, before 2. Because if I know I divide it by 10, I will just need to shift the decimal point to 4.51. Then, with this smaller decimal, I divide it by 2. So I will do my normal division, which gives me a very nice number, 0.4. Not 4, sorry, 2 and 4, it gives me 1, 1, 5. Okay, now if they never tell you how many decimal places, just do it until there's no more remainder. So this gives you the answer 2.255. Okay, now what can go wrong in your PSLE? Some of you may end up crossing your eyes and seeing the numbers wrongly and writing example 2.555 because the 2 looks similar to the digit 5. Alright, so under stress, so be very careful, check your work. Express 6, 7 as a decimal. So 6, 7 is the same as 6 divided by 7. Now from left to right, I know 6 came first. So 6 goes into the house, 7 out of the house. So it cannot be divided, so I'm going to put a 0. That's where the decimal point comes in. Okay. So this is 60 over 7 now. 60 divided by 7 would actually give me 8, 56, and 4. Now I will still want to continue because I need 2 decimal places. So I'm going to continue. 49. So it will be 5. 35 here. 5. Now I will still want to continue because I need the last digit behind to tell me whether I should round up or round down. 50 and 7. So 50 and 7 gives me 7. Alright, 49. Now, I can stop here, otherwise it's going to go on and on. Now, the reason why I can stop here because I will know my third decimal place. I can use this as a way to find out should I round up or should I round down. In this case, I will need to round up because of the third decimal place. So I have the answer 0.86. That's for question 20. Okay, now finding the length, you notice the start point doesn't start with 0. So it will be good if you can actually find out what this is. This is 0.9, whereas this is about 3.7. So to find the actual length, what I could do is just simply take the start minus the end. I will get back the actual length of this, which is 2.8. Alright. So 2.8 is the answer, 2.8 centimeters. Question 22, you're supposed to express it as a mixed number. So what again I could do, I could split them up. 3 whole, this is 0.05. Now 3 whole is just 3 whole. Now 0.05 is just the same as 5/100th because the last digit 5 is in the 100th place. So this gives me 3/500, but as always, any types of fraction I will want to simplify it to the simplest form. So this gives me 3 whole 120. Okay, that's for question 22. Okay, question 23. Now 23 again, we will want to see which one is the one that is smaller than half, and which one is the one that is bigger than half. Then this will help us compare easily. Alright, now let's take a look at 2/3. Now for 2/3, how do we know whether it's bigger than a half or smaller than a half? I know that the digit 2 is bigger than half of 3. Okay, if this fraction has to be half, then the number on top has to be 1.5, right? But this number is a digit 2. So this 2/3 must be bigger than a half. Alright, I always use half as a way to compare. Now, take a look at 4/11. Okay, 4 versus 11. Now, for this fraction to be halved, the number on top ought to be about 5.5. But the number on top is actually just a 4. So this tells me that this must be a smaller than half fraction because the number on top is less than half of 11. Okay, so let's look at this one then. 5/7. Again, 5/7 is such a big number, 5. Because if this fraction is half, then the number on top is supposed to be 3.5. But instead it is 5, so this is also bigger than half. Okay. Okay, now, we're supposed to rank from the smallest to the largest. So now that you know this is smaller, 4/11 must be the first one. Okay. Now, comparing between 2/3 and 5/7, how do we know which one is the next smallest one or the biggest one? With 2 fractions, then you can use common denominator to find out. So I'm going to just make them into the common denominator of 21. times 3 times 3. This is 1521. Now, bingo. I found out that 1421 is smaller, right? So 2/3 is actually even smaller. Then 57 is the biggest one. So that comes with my answer. Question 24. Alright. Now, you're supposed to find out how many cubes will be needed to fill up a figure that's 4 by 3 by 2. Now, 4 by 3 by 2 means you need to have a total number of how many cubes. Let's find out. Length times breadth times height. Okay. So it will be 24. Now, you're supposed to have a 24 full cube. But take a look at how many there are actually over here. 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, there's 8, there's 9. Now, behind the 5, there's a 10. Behind the 3, there is also a 11. Alright. Behind the 4, there's also another one, 12. So it needs a bit of imagination. So there are altogether 12 cubes here. And you're supposed to have 24. So all you need to do to find out how many more are needed, 24 minus 12, that's already inside, you are left with 12. 12 more cubes to form the full figure. That's 24 cubes. That's for 24. This is a very popular question, by the way. We love to ask this kind of questions. So master up this question. Question 25. You have got this person called Jim, and he only paid $48 after the discount of 20%. Meaning to say that the shirt that he actually bought is only 80%. He's only paying 80% of it. Alright. Now, you're supposed to find out the price before the discount. That means your aim is to get to 100%. Okay. Now, it may be very tough for you to find 1% and then multiply by 100. So what I could do is actually, I could make it into 10%. Instead of finding 1%, I find 10%. I divide everything by 8. I divide this by 8, smaller. Okay. So this will be $6. Now, from 10%, how did it become 100%? I multiplied by 10 times. Now for that, I will also have to multiply this side by 10 times. So this price will be $60. This is easier to divide rather than finding 1%. So don't find 1% because it's tougher finding 1%. Instead, I find 10% and then multiply 10 times to get 100%. Okay, 25 is done. Let's go to 26. Now, this one is about the folding. Before it was folded. So, some of you have actually done the actual folding of the paper, which I thought was very good. But in exams, because you are not given the paper for you to do that, one other way to do it is to actually draw it back. Okay. Now, I'm going to focus on this triangle here. Now, when you actually unfold that triangle becomes a square back. Okay. And then let's now focus on this one here. Now, this square, when it's unfolded, it still becomes a square. And this triangle now, when it's unfolded, it will also become back to a square. Alright. Now, by the way, I have to fit in the numbers. This is 5. And then this part over here, alright, you notice I shade and I draw it back. I shade and I draw it back. So I draw back what was unfolded. So this is actually 6 centimeters. Okay. Now you have all these numbers here. So it is time to fill up all the numbers that you know. And what we're going to do is this square is actually 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay. Now how to find the area? So now the paper is being unfolded. Let's find the length first. The length is 8 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6, which is equals to 29. Now 29 and the breadth is just 5. So area is length times breadth. The answer is 145. Okay, that gives you the answer 145. Okay, Question 27. You're supposed to find XPS. So first step, I will want to color the part that I'm supposed to find. Next, I'm supposed to draw in all the mustaches and whatever not. PQRS is a parallelogram. So these are parallelogram. That means two pairs of parallel lines. And X, this PQYX is a trapezium. Okay, makes sense, huh? Trapezium only one pair. So I might want to use a different color just to denote for trapezium. So this pair of parallel line is parallel to this pair of parallel line for trapezium. Okay, now you're supposed to find XPS. So what are some of the things that you can possibly find? If there's a 70 here, parallelogram says opposite angles are also the same. So this opposite angle will be here. This must be 70 as well. Alright, now trapezium will be when you have a small angle and a big angle that adds up to 180. So it's very easy now to find the red one. The red one will be made up of 180 minus the 45, the small angle, minus part of the big angle, which is 70. Now this gives you the answer already, which is 65. That's the answer. Okay, so remember trapezium, there's only one rule, and that trapezium rule says big plus small is 180. It doesn't have this rule where opposite angles are the same. It doesn't have that. Question 28. Okay, algebra. Now you have got Ryan. Ryan has got P dollars. And then he had $12 less than Amin. Now this sentence, if he had $12 more, this he refers to Ryan. Ryan has $12 more less than Amin. That means Amin will have more, right? So it will be P plus 12 because Amin has $12 more. Now Kuma on the other hand, $4 lesser than Amin. So it will be $4 lesser than Amin. He has $4 lesser, I have to minus off. Okay, now I can simplify this first. It gives me P plus 12 minus 4 gives me 8. Now they're supposed to find out how much money do they have all together. So I will need to find Ryan plus Amin plus Kuma. Okay, P and P and P I group together, they form 3P. 12 plus 8 gives me 20. So that forms my answer, 3P plus 20. Alright, it's also okay if you would like to write the number 20 plus 3P. Both gives you the same answer. Question 29. Alright, this is on rate. Now you parked from 8:30 to 11:45 a.m. So first thing I would like to do is to find out from this time to this time, how many hours is that? So it's always good to have a timeline drawn. 8:30, 11:45 is my end time. So I'm going to just jump all the way to a nice number, 11:30. That's about 3 hours. From 11:30 to 11:45, that's about 15 minutes extra. So the total time this person parked, 3 hours, 15 minutes. Okay. Now, first hour, 250. First hour, 250. So I'm going to minus off 1 hour because that's what she's going to pay, $250, $2.50. Alright, now that leaves you with 2 hours, 15 minutes more. Okay. Now, subsequent half an hour. So how many half an hours are there in 2 hours? There's a total of 4. Okay, there's a total of 4 units of half hour. Okay, now what about this 15 minutes? Is very odd. Alright, now even though you have just parked for 15 minutes, because they count in blocks of 30, you will still have to actually pay for this extra 1 unit of half an hour. Okay, so you don't notice that the remaining, you have a total of 5 units to pay for. So if 1 unit here is $2, Then you have a total of 5 units that you need to pay for. It will be $2. $2 because every block of half an hour is $2. There are altogether 5 blocks that you have to pay for. You have to pay 10. Okay? So you have a 10 here. You have a 250 here. So in total, this person actually has to pay a total of $12.50. Question. There are 5 times as many pencils in A than in B. So there were 5 times as many. So I'm going to draw the 5 times 3, 4, 5 compared to B. Now Mr. Sim is going to transfer 56 out. I'm not too sure how big this 56 is. So I'm just going to randomize and say, oh, this portion here is 56. Okay, and this 56 is going to be transferred over. And because after transferring, there will be actually about 56 of pencils to here already. Okay, now then they said there is still 160 more pencils, which means to say, now after this has been being transferred to 56, from here to here, there is still a difference. Alright, B is now going to be here. A is now going to be here. Okay, you notice there's still a big difference, right? And this difference is actually what is said in the question. 160. Alright, so now you look at this part of the model here that I'm going to color box. You notice there are 3 different numbers. I've got 56, I've got 56 here also, and I've got a 160. And all together, how many units do they make up of? The extra 4 units. Okay, so this 4 units is actually 56 plus the 56 plus a 160. Alright, which will give me 272. Now many of you missed out one of the 56. Many of you. Alright, because you forgot that if you transfer one to another person, alright, their difference actually got smaller. Okay, the repeated amount, 56, 56. That's why, alright, you didn't get it correct at this question. Double, 56, double. So this is a difference of 272. Now 272, find for 1 unit, which will be 272 divided by 4. It gives you 68. Now how many pencils were in box A at first? Now because box A had 5 units originally, so I'm just going to take 68 times 5. It's going to give you 340 as the final answer. Okay, so that's it we have for this paper. Remember to complete also question 1 to question 15 using the self-guided paper. Okay, transfer all your corrections to the paper proper. Thank you.